Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw for Insider Travel Report, and I'm here today with Amanda Fraser, who's President Standards and Ratings for Forbes Travel Guide. And I was supposed to be at the Forbes Travel Summit. There was a little blizzard in New York that happened that I tried valiantly to get over there, but I couldn't. Some people got over there somehow. I don't know what airline they were flying, but I had two flights canceled, and so I missed it. And so we're going to talk to Amanda a little bit about the summit, a lot about the Forbes Travel Guide right now, and you're going to find out about all that and more on Insider Travel Report. Amanda, first of all, great to see you, and I see you have the Monte Carlo in the background where you were, right?
Great to see you too, James. Thank you. Yes, we are going back again, so I'm going to keep this beautiful background up.
Well, hopefully next year, if you invite me, I'll be able to get there, and we won't have any blizzards in New York, which was
Oh,
the biggest blizzard I'd seen in New York since I was a kid.
it
Uh,
was the biggest blizzard ever, and it landed right as a lot of people were leaving. But
but you
fortunately,
but
it
you
didn't
got you
affect us
got
too
over
much.
there. You got over there. So
Yeah, I went out early.
there you go. Well, you were smart. I was going on Monday, but anyway, so I did. Let's talk about that conference, the Forbes Summit. This is the fourth year, I believe, you've done it. How many people attended this year?
This was our second year in Monaco. It's been many years since we've been holding an annual event, but we had over 800 hoteliers fly into
Right,
Monte
so
Carlo for
so
this event.
you've been doing it for a while then. I didn't realize it was that long. But second year in Monte Carlo, and you're going to have a third year there. Who are the people that attend?
Gosh, so we have a really wonderful broad range. So obviously we have hoteliers and restaurateurs, spa directors, heads of the well-being industry. And then with the more modern iteration of the summit, we now have fashion and beauty and automotive and of course real estate, asset managers, owners. It's an incredible mix. And of course, a wonderful group of trusted travel advisors and travel media.
Yeah, and I am sorry I was set up a lot of meetings there, and we're going to do some interviews, but I lost all of those. But we're trying to do them by Zoom, just like this one. We'll try to pick up on that. But it sounded like an amazing event, and explain exactly what is the summit? Is it a celebration of all the five-star properties that you have designated five stars? Is it more than that? What is exactly is the summit?
Thank you. It's that and so much more. Yeah, it's actually a celebration of all of our award winners, and Forbes Travel Guide evaluates properties at the recommended 4 and 5 star level.
Right.
So the barrier to entry, it is an invite only event, and as a qualified star award winner, you do get an invite to attend. So we're celebrating all of our award winners, plus obviously our community of travel advisors and the travel industry media, as we mentioned, plus everyone that has an interest in advancing the luxury space. We have a lot of partners in that space now.
And then you had a pretty good program of speakers and sessions and seminars focusing in on luxury travel, on the industry issues. What are some of the topics you examined during the summit? And really, what was the overall theme of this year's summit?
The theme that was very deliberate for us when we set about putting the show together was to always be forward thinking. So we want to always inspire. Of course, we want people to network and connect, but we want everyone that attends the summit to leave feeling that they've learned something that makes them a better businessman, a better individual, somebody that can go away and take practical advice and put it into their hotel, their restaurant, their spa. So we had everything. We took our guests on quite a journey, which was very intentional. So we had everything from some wonderful inspirational keynotes. Chris Gardner opened on day one talking about his philosophy around daring to dream, which was really quite emotional. We had the points guy, Brian Kelly, who
I
talked
know
about the
Brian.
future of loyalty, which was obviously incredible to hear from him in person. We touched on AI, which was one of the most out of the back of the summit last year. That was the most heavily requested topic to be included on the agenda. So we had sessions on AI. We had really, when I say future looking, we had the fastest woman in F1 right now, the Academy superstar Alba Larson, who will be the first female in F1. So that was very inspirational. And it was all very forward thinking. So we had a lot of great content talking about the future and how to think about your brand in the future.
Well, certainly that's an appropriate place to have the first woman in F1, Monte Carlo, which is in a few more months, a couple of more months. That's exactly where F1's going to be. It just started now. F1
It
just.
just started actually, just as we were leaving, everything was getting pulled apart and set up. So yes,
And then you had quite the gala. If I saw, we did a little piece on it. It was like I did what I missed at the summit, and you had Kristen Chenoweth there, and a whole lot of things. A big black tie there in Monte Carlo, right?
we did. We had our marquee closing event, which is the gala, and we actually had a wonderful show. I think for those that were there last year, they might remember we opened with Shirley Bassey, which was incredible. And to sit down at the beginning of 2026 and think about, how, or 25, I should say, back then, and how can we top that? It was really important to us to create a complete show. So bringing in, a star like Kristen, and she was accompanied by Eric Bergen, who's also just incredible, accompanied by our orchestra and with the support of the Principality as well, who were also incredible. And Mr. Chiapori, the Minister of Finance, opened with a lovely speech, and the Prince Albert II gave his Royal Carabinier opening orchestra, which played a couple of songs, which was just a wonderful way to start the evening.
Well, it sounded like a fabulous event, and again, I'm very sorry I missed it. I had my techs already in the baggage. I was ready to go.
Keep
But
it for next year, James.
next
Keep it
year, as I
clean.
said, I
Yeah.
said we were talking earlier. I said my dream has always been to walk through the Casino of Monte Carlo in a tux and go back into the back rooms with the European European,
Well,
and
like I told
pretend.
you, we'll get you there, but maybe we'll do it with our AI app first.
I know, and I got to pretend I'm not James Shillinglaw, but James Bond. But we'll see. So that's one of my little lifetimes. I have driven the course on the F1 course there a few times because just to pretend that. Now let's shift the focus here. That was the summit. Again, it sounded like a wonderful event, and I know next year is going to be equally great. What is Forbes Travel Guide today? I know it's a rating service for the travel industry, and you began with hotels, but you've expanded into all other segments, I think cruising, restaurants, airlines, I think, and more, right?
We're growing and growing fast, but very deliberately, very intentionally. So we were founded in 1958 as, we originated the 1 through 5 star rating system as the mobile travel guide here in the
Right.
USA, with actually restaurants and then hotels and inns. But as obviously the decades have gone by, we've expanded, and now hotels, restaurants, spas were the early 2000s. River cruising came 5 years ago, and then river cruises is going to be our newest vertical that we will introduce beginning with the 2027 rating. So we have our evaluators sailing the rivers right now, collecting those results.
Yeah, in fact, I am actually here in Amsterdam as we speak, about ready to go to the Asta River Cruise Expo, and we talked about you may want to come here next year
I
to
have to get there. Yes.
that. And so it's a great gathering of all the brands that are relevant. And you're right, river cruising, there's mostly high-end luxury focus. There are new players on it all the time, including this year, we're all going to hear about Celebrity, which is cruises, which is getting into river cruising now. So you're doing it at a very good time to add that. But I remember when you first did cruises, and I was a bit shocked about that. And you were because I always thought of you as a hotel rating system for many, many years.
It was a leap for us, but I think at the end of the day, I mean, exactly the same reason we expanded into spas and this year into river cruising. It's following the evolution of luxury. I mean, Forbes Travel Guide, to answer your question, we set the standards on what it means to have a luxury experience. And that has changed over the last 6, 7 decades considerably, especially actually mostly in the last 5 years. Luxury isn't just about, the color of the tablecloth and what the
Right.
tablecloth is made of. It's so much more than that. And our rating guide now reflects that. So, a lot of the reasons properties operate at the level that they operate in the luxury space is because of our standards and the guidance we also get from our SAC, our Standards Advisory Committee.
No, absolutely. And I know that everybody really does care about those ratings, and they use them for our readers, our travel advisor readers out there are, like to see to tell their clients that this is a 5 or a 4 star product that they can trust. Talk a little bit about that. About can you briefly, Clinic, explain the process of where a hotel or cruise line or spa gets a 5 or a 4 star designation?
It's kind of a complete circle of life. So we will, within ratings, put together a schedule of who's getting an evaluation. The evaluators are assigned throughout the year. They travel all over the world to more than 100, 100 countries now. And unlike maybe some lists are put together, it's not the evaluator that decides who earns a recommended 4 or 5 star rating. It's based on the performance of that property against our standards.
Right.
So there's a proprietary algorithm which we're transparent about with our partners, so you know what you're being judged on if you would like that transparency. Because another important distinction is that we're not a pay-to-play system. You can't buy your way on to the list.
Hmm.
What you can buy is transparency and communication, which allows you more insight into the criteria upon which you're being judged. But the performance of those properties that we evaluate is the outcome of their hard work, and they earn their place on the list every single year.
Yeah, because you have to do it every year, and people
Every year.
people obviously lose their designations, and people gain designations. So you can advance to 5 star, I'm sure, and there are those who fall off the list. I'm sure.
That's exactly right. And that's a really important part of keeping that list current and keeping it up to date, because at the end of the day, you used this word a moment ago, trust. Who do you trust? And we're out there visiting the properties and ensuring that those standards that we set and refine each year are present when you send people to go and stay at those properties.
I guess one of my final questions is, what does the future hold for both Forbes Travel Guide and Forbes Travel Summit? Looking at the travel guide, it sounds like you're going to continue to expand your ratings to other travel products, right, and services.
We are, there's a lot of hats within our organization. And, certainly on the hat I wear, which is ratings and standards and the summit, it's really about making sure that we're always forward thinking, that we're having the right conversations with the right individuals that we also trust. It's all very well and good for us to say trust our list, but what's it made up of? Who are we talking to? Well, we're talking to trusted travel advisors. We're talking to some of our most trusted hotels, restaurant, river cruise, wellness partners, and beyond, to make sure that the list that we put together each year is, forward thinking, like I said, and that in turn, that the summit reflects that philosophy as well, that we're forward thinking, that we're inspirational, and that it's a community of like-minded individuals looking to better that consumer outcome. We were founded as a consumer advocacy group,
Right.
and there's no way to better advocate for the consumer than working together as a community between the hotels, the advisors, the brands that we are fortunate enough to partner with.
Well, in fact, that was what I was going to ask you about the summit, that it does seem to be that you are creating a community of luxury travel providers that all can talk with each other, and obviously the summit is a place to do that.
It really is. And, we love being the nucleus of that and bringing these like-minded individuals together, because, we believe that when we're together in partnership and like-minded individuals come together, you're stronger together than you are apart. And as an industry, I think we benefit tremendously from that, as we see from the feedback from the summit, which was just so much fun.
So, what are your plans for the summit next year? Anything you can tell us a little bit about in advance?
Well, we're definitely going back to Monaco. We had terrific support from the Principality. Nothing to share right now, but I'm back there in just a few weeks, and watch this space. We'll have a safer date out very soon and details forthcoming.
Now, is
It'll
there
be
anything
better.
up?
It'll be
Yeah,
better. That's the challenge, though, James. Challenge is always to make it better. So we're heads down on that right now.
well, you keep making it better. It sounds like you had some wonderful speakers and entertainment this past year, and it sounds like you did the previous year as well. I'm no doubt that you'll make it better next year. Is there anything else you want to tell? We go out to about 125,000 travel advisors right now, but anything you want to tell them about the Forbes Travel Guide today and also the Forbes Travel Summit?
Thank you. I think the biggest message is, again, going back to that word trust. I mean, we put this amazing list of incredible properties and experiences out every year, and so do many other associations and brands and businesses. But at the end of the day, I think it's about who you trust and who you would like to turn to when you want to have that confidence level in where you're spending your time. And yes, it's about, where you're spending your money, but your time is the most valuable thing. And we want to make sure that we're working together with our community to keep that list as full of integrity as it can be, as it needs to be.
That's the most important thing. There are a lot of lists out there,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of publications put out lists, a lot of other ones, and you have to have something that has integrity and also people trust, as we said earlier. Uh, and again, I guess if you want to find out more about Forbes Travel Guide, it's ForbesTravelGuide.com, right?
That's the one. Yes, that's us.
Well, Amanda, I want to thank you. Hopefully, I'll see you in person next year, if not before. I do see. I saw you in the distance at the International Luxury Travel Market at Cannes this past year. I'm usually in the media room that you guys sponsor, actually. So that's
We do. I saw you in the corner. I didn't quite make it all the way over there,
well,
but nice to talk to
I
you
was
now.
stuck. They only put me in the corner, that's it. They put me in the corner so I could do my interviews, and that's where I do it every year. This year I did about 40 interviews in the corner. So I'm sorry I didn't get to you, but because I also thought I'd be talking to you during the summit, but then unfortunately the weather intervened.
Mother Nature said otherwise. Well, I look
Well,
forward to seeing you next year, if not sooner.
we'll see you certainly. I'm sure you go to ILTM and a lot of the other things, so I'll see you there. Again, thank you for taking the time today.
You're welcome. Thank you, James.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.